It's an emerging trend. More North American women than ever before are childless, and it's not necessarily by choice. Many of them expected to marry and have children, but it just hasn't happened. In Otherhood, author Melanie Notkin explores this modern phenomenon, interviewing smart, successful, single women in their 30s and 40s, and then sharing her own story in the process. We welcome Melanie to the AM studios this morning. So good to meet you.
Good to meet you too. Good morning.
Good morning. So we explained a little bit about what the Otherhood is, but just to further explain it, in this book, you talk about meeting two friends. They're men, right? Both married. And they say, so is there a guy in your life? What's going on? Is it your career? You know, what is it? Because it must be you, right?
Right. They're looking to solve the problem. What is the mystery that this woman, who seems to have so much going for her, is still single and childless? And what choice did she make that she ended up in this position? And yet, I am certainly not alone. There are millions of women in North America who are among the most well-educated, most financially independent, most fabulous women, and we remain, many of us, single and childless as our fertile years wane, and people can't figure it out, and frankly, we're trying to understand it too.
In doing all of the interviews that you did, talking to all these women, do you have a greater understanding as to what's going on? Because you put that number, that Otherhood number, between 40 and 50%. That's high.
It's high. Yeah, in the U.S., 47% of American women are childless by age 44, which is extraordinary, and that trend is growing. In 1976, that number was just 35%. So we're seeing that women, especially, again, women who have a college degree, marry later, have children later. It doesn't mean that they never have children, but they're spending many more years of their life being childless. And people will say, well, it's your career. And I never really believe that, because we're good multitaskers, aren't we? We can do a few things at once. And I have never known a woman who's ever turned down a proposal from a man she loved because she had a conference call. So I don't think it's our careers, although...
So what is it? What are the factors?
The factors are that I think we all got a little bit confused after the feminist movement, and that women were told that in order to be equal, we had to be a little bit more like men. And men were told, well, maybe you need to lean back a little bit and let the women show their independence. Now, we are modern, independent women, but we also kind of crave a little old-fashioned romance. We like to be courted. We want the man to pick the venue for the date. We want them to make us feel like we're loved by them. And so the men started to lean back, the women were leaning in, and I think that the part of it was that the dynamic changed. There is no singular, I'm not a sociologist, and I can't pinpoint on one singular thing, but I think that the dynamics have changed, and I think that we're all sort of misunderstanding each other and what our deepest yearnings are. And most women, not all, and I champion and honor the choice not to have children or not to marry, or to have a child outside of marriage, certainly. But most women want to be married and have a child within the context of marriage.
You're in your 40s,
yes,
right? Do you feel that you've missed out thus far because you're single and you don't have a significant other and you don't have kids?
I mean, I don't know that I've missed out on life. I may be waiting for love, but I'm not waiting for life. And the women of the Otherhood are not waiting for life to happen to them. They are extraordinary women who keep moving forward with their lives. But that's not to say that we don't have deep moments of grief. It's disenfranchised grief. It's a type of grief that people don't necessarily recognize because we're single. Oh, yeah, I know you want kids, but go on Match.com. Go on more dates. Stop being so picky. Stop being so focused on your career. Stop delaying. And yet these women are it's the one thing they can't control. They can control, how much income they pull in. They can control how they nurture their friendships and how they spend time with their nieces, nephews, and their parents, but they can't control when they fall in love. But in the meantime, they're making their lives extraordinary, and that's what I mean by finding a new kind of happiness.
It's great to meet you.
Oh, great to meet you too.
The book is called Otherhood. Melanie Notkin joining us this morning.
Thank you.